World, it's Bliss Talk time. It is now top of the hour, 7 p.m. And I am going to be building, learning, aspiring, collaborating, and sharing keys with a comedian for the first time. This is the first time we've ever had a comedian on a Bliss Talk. So I think it's really special what comedians do because I'm really dorky and really corny. So there is no way in this lifetime that I will ever try to get on stage and tell jokes. It's just not my thing. But this young lady, she's been grinding. I've been taking a look at her page and she's been grinding for a while now. And it seems like when she is involved and engaged with her work, it comes out very clear and professional. She does a lot of promoting. I was listening to one of the clips on her page, and she said that she had took a tour of 104 shows back to back when she started doing comedy. And I thought that was very special because, it's hard to get even time to do that and to have to invest in the gas money, the hotels, where you're going to stay when you're on this type of grind. So today I'm going to be asking her, what inspired her? Where does this drive come from? Why? What are some of the characteristics of a driven person? What else do I have for her? I want to know what opportunities that open up for her due to her grind and networking. Because some people, when we think about getting ourselves out there, putting ourselves out there, we want to know that it's going to be a guaranteed reward. And, there's that thought, there's always that doubt in the back of your mind. It's just like, I'm going to work, I'm going to run this treadmill for I don't know how many years, how many hours. But, you never know what's going to come out of it, or what you're going to make of it. But it helps to listen to other people's testimonies and their stories. So hopefully she has some good keys for us to go over today. And you know how I do. I have to telepathically communicate with my guests so they can get in here. How y'all quarantining? How is everybody quarantining? It's been a nice, beautiful day today. I went for a light jog down my sidewalk today. I felt so accomplished. It's my first time jogging in a minute, honey. Okay? In a minute. But I like to, after my Bliss Talks, after every Bliss Talk, I like to go for a walk. Just to get myself. It's a different type of buzz when you're out and you're working out and you're taking a walk. You know what I mean? But I like doing that because it clears my mind, it clears my head. And then I can say that I did some type of exercise today. But I've been now trying to get, today I thought about it and I was like, go ahead and get myself ready for a workout or for some type of physical activity before I come downstairs and work from home. My work from home station is downstairs. And so today I put my, my workout pants on and my t-shirt. And I was like, on my breaks, I'm gonna go out and have a walk or a jog at some point. That way, after Bliss Talk, I can just relax for a second, clear my head after working all day and doing homework. I multitask while I'm working, I'm doing homework too. So that's kind of how my day goes during the weekdays. And then, of course, 7 p.m. every day, I have a Bliss Talk. IG says they're telling you guys to come in here, but I haven't seen anybody yet, not even my guests. I wonder where she could be. There she is. Hello. Come on in. I got some questions for you, girl. Request to join live. You have to join right now. This is the interview right now. 7 p.m. Are you coming? Oh, we're in different time zones. Are you serious? Are you ready now? Hey, come on in. It's only gonna be like 30 minutes of your time. That's crazy. Let's get it. Come on in.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hi. How you doing?
Thank God I got some clothes on. I
Right.
just happened to look at Instagram and I thought this was later. Thank God.
I was not thinking about a time zone or anything of that nature. I was like, 7 o'clock, we gonna get this thing started. But how was your day? How you been doing? How you quarantining?
um, Man, my day is good because I don't have to work. But my quarantine has been kind of boring. I just kind of been hanging out a lot, so I don't know.
I can see that. I took a look at your page today and I came up with some questions to ask you. And it looks like you're used to networking, promoting, and stuff like that. So I can see how quarantining could be a little boring for you.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
But look, I go by the name of Carmen Bliss. Just to introduce myself, I'm a singer-songwriter and organizer, and I do this Bliss Talk show every night at 7 p.m. And I love to talk to people who are really grinding and going steady with their craft and what they do. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and hopefully we can have some fun with it. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm always ready, apparently.
Yes. So after taking a look and doing some research, I wanted to know what are some of the opportunities that opened up for you due to your grind and networking, because I see that you say you've been doing this for a minute. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I haven't been doing it that long. I've been doing it for like 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a newbie. As you said, I happen to have a grind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the difference with me is it's like I decided, it all started by being a stand-up comedian. Now I mainly do hosting and produce events and promoting for those events. But what I decided is if I'm going to go for something, I'm going to go hard for it. And I think that's an issue a lot of people don't do. I think a lot of people are like, hey, I want to be a rapper. And then they kind of be a rapper. They don't really do the research. They don't really look into their idols. They just kind of think they're going to do it and do what they assume is the right direction. With me, I researched a lot of stuff. The first thing I Googled when I wanted to do comedy is I typed in how to do stand-up comedy.
Right.
And I'm not even joking. I say that on every interview, but I'm not joking. Like I literally did that. And then I just read articles and it showed you like how to write, like your audience. And I just did a ton of research before I actually pursued it. And I think that's what people sleep on, is just like using Google, and we have all the answers at our fingertips and we don't even realize it. And so I don't know. I've been researching, reading articles, watching YouTube videos, watching my idols. Like I still do it till this day. So yeah.
Absolutely. I admire that. I saw a clip of you saying that you did 104 shows back to back, and you had to get that gas money up. You had to grind.
Yep.
For real.
That was my first year when I decided to like be a entertainer. I did 104 shows and nobody knew who I was. And so I didn't let that stop me. I just decided to just like reach out to people and do every show that they offered in Portland. So I've been on everyone's show. I didn't like care if it was $2 for it was free, and most of them was free. But I was like, I just need to get my name on posters, because when I was reading stuff, it was saying like, get your name out there. And the first way I thought to get my name out there is to show up on people's posters, which sucked because my name is like Shrista, and for some reason no one can spell it. And so the first year was me correcting people for my name on their posters, but still, I decided to get my name on every poster, any poster I could, and then people started knowing my name from that.
I was like doing vocal exercises trying to pronounce your name before he got up here because I didn't want to look like a jackass.
It rhymes with Krista, Shrista.
Shrista.
That's why it's helping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shrista. I was like asking my friend, I was like, so this is spelled, how would you pronounce it? She was like, I don't know.
I know. When I get on stage, they're always like, and coming on stage, Shrista Little. I'm like, what? That's my government name, first off, and you pronounce it wrong.
I know it's a thing, like people, you want to get your name right. And so when somebody says your name incorrectly, it's just like, some people get really offended by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. It's been like that my whole life, man. For posters, though, that was like one thing I did want to make sure of, is to make sure it was right. I see a lot of people have wrong names on posters and they just let it slide, but that's really bad for your branding. So nope. I'm like, I used to tell people I'm not promoting your event until you update it because it's just a click of a button. A lot of people make it like it's the end of the day. It's like, oh, my graphic designer's done. I'm like, that's already on his computer. It's just literally a button. It's not that difficult. Like, so I stuck with that and it works. Now people always spell it right.
That's definitely good because I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, when you're an artist or you're someone that's on a grind, you know what I mean? You have to be vocal about how you want things. You know what I mean? Like people, I'm a singer-songwriter, and sometimes people think I might come off as a diva because I'm asking for you. Can you correct my sound this way? Can you?
Yeah, that's.
I need to be able to hear myself. I can't hear myself. You know what I mean? And that's if you're trying to give a performance, you want to make sure that everything is right for you to be able to put on the best performance, especially if somebody paying you to do this. You know what I mean? Especially if you get that money.
Exactly. I've hired people who have introduced me to the stage and they didn't know my name, and I thought it was weird because we've been in the business for years. And I'm like, you don't know how to say my name this whole time. And like, my name on stage, unfortunately, I actually clown you for it. I don't ever let that slide. I'm thinking about putting up a compilation video because I actually record all my sets, and I just like pretty much grilling everyone who says my name wrong at every set because it's almost every show now at this point.
Got you, girl. I feel you. Let's see, what else do I got for you? I want to know, where does your drive come from, and why do you think some people lack this characteristic? Because drive is definitely a characteristic that you have to have if you want to get to a certain point.
Ooh, that's a deep one. I would say my drive is like, a lot of people act like they don't do it for the money, but ultimately, like the way I was brought up, which people could probably relate, is my childhood. I was really, really poor. My family was really poor. And so when I found something that I was good at, like my everyday goal is to have a life where I'm actually successful, where I actually don't have to worry about money, because money was always an issue growing up. And that's kind of sucked. And I always wanted to like have my kid, like when I raise kids, that they don't ever have to worry about money. And so being successful in this for me is a big deal, because I don't want my kids to be raised the way I was raised. I mean, it still made me the strong motherfucker I am today, obviously. But at the same time, I wish I didn't have to face half the struggles I had to face. And so for me, my drive is money, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to support my family.
Gotcha. So to tag along to what you were just saying, this is what you're doing full time?
Not at the moment. Had some medical issues last year, and so I actually just got back in everything a couple months ago. Long story short, I got a surgery, and I got a deadly infection during that surgery. And so the last 6 months, I've actually been fighting for my life, but I beat it. I won. Hey, back in the grind. But I was actually, right before that had happened, I was thinking about going full time. But now I just have to catch up on a ton of debt. But yeah, with events, it is possible, because my events were just starting to get pretty successful, and they still are, and then COVID hit. But I was making enough money that I didn't have to work a job anymore. Not that I work that many hours at my regular job anyways, but wouldn't have to get up for it.
That is what every artist is striving for. We don't want to work no more.
Exactly, man. I hate working for the man. I just got a job the other day and I'm like, ew, this is what it's like. Ugh. Because I had like a stay-at-home job like the last 6 years and it's really simple stuff. But like being out there around people, I don't know. I can't work for other people. It's hard to listen, man. So I strive to work for myself.
Right. Well, I'm glad you made it through that because I want to see where you're going from here. I want to see like people who grind and I want to see them like, yes, okay. First you were here and I want to see you like big and stupid.
That's all I see for myself. Like my whole life, like I always felt like I was supposed to be a star, to be honest. Like you might hear that from other people, but like I got my bachelor's degree in teaching. I pursued that whole direction. And I don't know, I got offered a teaching job and I said no to it because I felt like that's not what I was meant for. And I don't tell a lot of people that. A lot of people don't even know I have a Bachelor of Arts degree. I don't talk about it because it's not what I wanted to do. It's what people told me to do. And so I was doing it because that's what they tell you to do when you're growing up. They don't teach you to be an entrepreneur. They don't teach you about being an entertainer or any of these other things that we all are pursuing, you know? And it just didn't feel right. And I said no. And then I sat in a slumber for like 2 years trying to figure out what the hell it is I wanted to do. And the weirdest thing is other people told me I should pursue stand-up comedy. Like, oh, you should do stand-up. And I was like, nah, I don't want to. And then, I don't know, it took like a couple months and I was like, all right, whatever. And I did some research and then I went out and did stand-up. Ended up getting decent at it. And then I started hosting events. And that's what I actually ended up loving even more. I don't know what it is. I just love hosting events. It's just more fun and more... You're more free. You're not like stuck on this set that you have to memorize. And it's like so much. It's so much. I don't think people realize how hard stand-up actually is. Not even with like the memorization. It's like the crowd interactions, like connecting with people. It's a lot harder than it looks.
I can tell. Before you popped on my screen, I was, I always have to begin the show somehow to bring it in. And I brought it in talking about how I would never, ever put myself in that position.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because I'm corny and I'm a dork. There is no way I'm getting on that stage.
Also, a lot of people, at least you know. At least you know. A lot of people think they're funny because they're funny in everyday life, like regular with their homies. But being funny in front of a stage, like a crowd of people who don't know you, is an entirely different type of funny. Not everyone can make strangers laugh. And I think I've seen a lot of people like decide to do comedy and then just bomb at mics. Like just bomb and then they'll blame the crowd. I'm like, nah, it's actually your joke writing. Like you can be funny to your homies and your family. It's a different type of funny with stand-up. But people, they don't believe me. I'm telling you, ever since I pursued comedy, everyone thinks they're a comedian now. And they're always like, oh, let me go try it. I'll give them all the info. They'll go to mics and just bomb. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot harder than it looks. You got to actually do some research and actually write.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm only on my second question for you. I feel like we can talk. I'll try to keep my shows down for 30 minutes, something quick and inspirational for the people. But I wanted you to kind of tap on that. Why do you think some people lack that characteristic of drive?
I feel like a lot of people don't know what it is they're working towards. I think some people like want to do music, want to have fun, but like they don't think they're necessarily working towards. And things I think that will help with for a lot of people is like self-help books. I read a lot of self-help books. And with the self-help books, like I forget what the one I read this one on that John Maxwell did, but he sets up goal setting and like you decide your goal, you decide your future, kind of like vision board type thing. I think if people had like a goal they were going for, maybe they'll chase it harder. But I originally started by making vision boards. I wanted to be a certain level comedian. I wanted to be on certain shows, and I reached all those because I had it on a board. And then it gets to a point where you start capping out of your more immediate dreams, because like being famous and stuff is way later down the road. But there's like little ones you gotta at least fulfill. And I don't think people even like want to knock out the little ones or know to knock those out. But like, I don't know. I think people just don't have a motivation. And I don't think a lot of people know they don't have a motivation.
I love the way you put that. I really do. Because I wholeheartedly agree with that. With me, I had a bunch of stuff on my vision board and I did mine for 2 years out. And, I was knocking stuff off of it. I just I just wrote the vision board, and it wasn't something that I was looking at every day, but writing it out, you know what I mean? It helps with keeping it top of mind, keeping it, knowing
Exactly.
that that's exactly what you want. So write it down, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And then
Exactly.
for some reason, I was just knocking stuff out. I said
Dang.
to buy a house, and I said, I don't know how I'm gonna do it because my credit sucks. Well, I'm gonna write this up here and see what happened. And I was
Yep.
like, that same
Start
year,
chasing it though when you see
yeah,
it.
yeah. So I ended up getting me a house. I got my credit score to the
Hey.
exact score that I wrote on that vision board. I got my credit score to that score. It was
See,
bananas.
when you set goals, you can make it happen. A lot of people don't set goals.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's my next question. What is the recipe and secret sauce to good comedy, in your opinion?
What's the recipe for good comedy?
Mm-hmm.
I would say personal experiences. When I first started writing, I actually wrote what I assumed people wanted to hear from me. And so when I was doing the comedy, I wasn't actually enjoying it. I got a lot of laughs from it. If you go on my YouTube, people are laughing at it, but I didn't enjoy anything I was saying. I was just saying it because people assume that's what I wanted to talk about, I guess. But like a lot of stuff that you talk about that people laugh at is the stuff that you're just making fun of yourself. And so you're just like, damn, I'm actually kind of sensitive. This kind of hurts, but it made you guys laugh. It's going to give me paid. So you do it. But I think like the difference between like, some people will say Kevin Hart isn't good. Whoever says that probably isn't an actual comedian, because we know how hard it is to be as like loved as he is actually. But one thing Kevin Hart dominates in is he tells personal experiences. And also with his personal experiences, they might be relatable, but they'll never be the experience he's going through. And as long as you stay original, nobody can copy you. And you'll also be unique. Kevin Hart is super original. He keeps it like personal as hell. He's always talking about his life. If you do too general of a topic, like if you do a general topic, most people are going to already have that set or have a version of that set, because at the end of the day, we all talk about the same things. It's just who tells the joke funnier. And people who have the better ones are usually people who are telling personal experiences rather than general stuff.
Right. Exactly.
But
like I agree. Kevin Hart is one of my favorites. And
yeah, he's hilarious, man. People sleep on him. Well, actually, no one sleeps on him. He's like really famous. But when I hear people say he sucks, I'm like, yeah, you've never written comedy then. Because that is really well written. That's hella good.
So I saw on your page that you promoted a show with the baby in it. Did you get to meet him?
I did? Oh, I know what you're talking about. So that was actually just a promoting tactic.
Okay.
The guy who was promoting the show with me, he actually just put the baby song and video in the background. I thought it was weird too, but it actually worked because people then clicked it. But like once you click it, it actually just says where the show's at, and it was a club event we were doing. But I was like, that's so smart promoting, because a lot of people clicked it.
Got you. Okay.
I had done an event for YG, but I didn't get to meet him. He actually didn't show up to the after party. But it was YG and Mozzie, so I got to meet Mozzie. But like, I wanted to meet YG, so I was kind of mad. And I didn't know Mozzie at the time very well. Now that I listen to his music, I think I would have been way more excited because he's super tight. But I didn't know his music as much back then. It was like a year ago. I'm kind of mad. I'm like, dang, I should have got a picture.
It happens like that. There's people say that there's a celebrity in the building and they name a name, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was a year ago. I do now. And now I'm mad.
So why do you think people gravitate to you? And do you filter those who you allow to share your energy with?
You have to repeat the second one after I answer the first one. But yeah, because I think they both have their own separate answer. I think people kind of like me, I guess, in the sense of I'm really real and blunt. one thing when I was growing up, I always spoke my mind. It's also why I had like no friends. um, but I always spoke my mind. I was always really real and blunt. And so, sorry, my dog keeps crying because I'm not paying attention to him. Anyway, I'll start over. So I'm really real and blunt. And so I think that's why a lot of people gravitate towards me, because I don't hold anything back. And like, for now, like the industry I'm in, it's actually better to be real. So people don't really want to hear lies and fake stuff and yes men, pretty much what you call it. I'm not a yes man. And anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's just pretty much someone who, when their friend asks if their music's good, you're just like, yep, even though it could actually be pretty bad. And so, yeah, there's a lot of those out there, but I'm not one of those. I usually always just keep it real and honest. And also I'm goofy. I say a lot of shit that's on people's mind that they're not actually saying out loud. So I say a lot of subconscious stuff. So I think that's one main thing that gets people to gravitate towards me is my realness.
Realness. So the second part of that question was, do you filter those who you allow to share your energy?
What do you mean by that? I guess.
Do you allow okay, so I'm trying to put it this way. Like for me, there is like certain energies that I try to steer clear from. You know what I mean? If I'm in an environment I feel uncomfortable, I'm probably not gonna be friends with anybody.
I know what you mean room. Now.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm actually 100% me most of the time, which kind of sucks, and it's also why I don't like to work regular jobs, because I can't bitch up to people. But I will say less around an environment I'm uncomfortable with, but I'll definitely be myself. If I'm going to someone's family's house or something, I'm not even joking to you, I literally straight up tell them I probably won't cuss, but I'ma still be me. I'ma still act like I act. I'ma still talk like I talk. And like, I'm not gonna change for nobody. And I've stuck with that my whole life. So like, I literally won't change for anybody. Like I might change the topic, but I'ma still be like that real me, that ignorant me, and say my opinion on stuff. It's one thing I've just never held back on is my opinion. And that's what people hate. So I might be a little bit more professional in the sense of like calming down a little things I say, but I'm always still be real. So I don't know. I feel like I don't really filter myself, but that's also why people don't want to take me places.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I am.
It's probably because you're outside. We got one more question though. We can't break up right now.
Oh, I'm going back to my house.
Okay. Let's knock this last question down. All right. So, what environment did you feel the most productive? Yourself? And what environment created the most opportunity for you? Those might be separate things. It might be the same place.
So what keeps me more productive?
What environment do you find yourself more productive?
Oh, okay.
What environment yourself more like yourself? And what environment provided the most opportunity for you?
I think my most productive is actually when I'm at events. Because I feel like when I'm hosting and stuff, I'm learning a lot just by hosting. I'm networking, I'm talking to people. It seems like I'm always thinking of stuff when I'm out too, because sometimes I'll say something funny to someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. So I'll write it down real quick. But usually when I'm at home, I'm not really thinking of, like, I'm not always like, all right, let me write that down. But if I'm at an event, I'm always writing or audioing something. And so I would definitely say my events, like I have a hip hop show and a hip hop open mic, but I seem to always be writing stuff or like learning stuff or meeting people there. Definitely my most productive is at events. Yeah, I feel like you said something else too.
What environment do you feel more like yourself? Would that be also on stage?
Oh, definitely on stage, man. Regular life is actually kind of hard for me. I'm gonna be real. It's weird because like I feel like I'm this different person and I can't be that person all the time. Like in real life. Like I can, but like if I'm like sometimes I'm like I over exaggerate a lot of stuff. Like when I'm grocery shopping, like I'll do something goofy or like dance in the aisle or something. But like for me, like that seems really normal, but I forget like other people think that's weird. But I'm pretty like just kind of wild, so it doesn't always work in regular day life. So I always feel like I'm always not very happy just like if I'm not on stage or at an event. My most happy time I would definitely say is on stage. It's the only time I actually feel like myself and I can be myself and everybody accepts me for that me. But yeah, that's definitely my most productive, my happiest state of mind.
Gotcha. Does that space also provide you the most opportunity? Because you know,
Yep.
when you, like you said, you did 104 shows, and so when I say environment, it could be like you just went to a different state or you went to a different city, and this city provided you with you got a gig somewhere. Oh shit, I just got
yep. Yeah. It's definitely opportunities. It seems like anytime I'm doing a gig or anything, there's always an opportunity. When I first started, my first gig was at a festival. So when I was sitting on there, all of a sudden I was given hundreds of opportunities, 104, shit. A ton of opportunities. Or also like if I'm hosting an event, I can get booked. Like usually I'm hosting my own events, but I get booked to host other people's events. A lot of that is from hosting my own events. So anytime I'm on stage, it feels like I might be getting an opportunity from anybody out there.
Gotcha. Well, that's what's up. I want to hear from some of the people that joined into the Bliss Talk today, joined into the live, and I want to see if they have any questions for you. And while they are typing there, because it takes a little while to type, go ahead and give them information. If you got a website, if you got something that you got coming up, let them know.
Yeah, actually, I got ShristaTyree.com, which I need to update a little bit better. But I got some I was like, man, my pictures are like 5 months late, 5 months behind, but whatever. I got lots more. I'm gonna post on there. But yeah, I got my website, and I'm actually Shrista Tyree on all my social media. So it's the same on every single thing, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's Shrista Tyree. So you can catch all my stuff on there. YouTube, I don't know what. They be doing weird usernames on there. But if you just type in Shrista Tyree, I'm also the only one on there. So everywhere, acting crazy. I will say my posts are crazy. I actually just got reported today. But I get reported every day on Facebook and Instagram sometimes. It's kind of annoying. But my opinion not everyone likes my opinion on things, so I get reported. I'm blocked. I'm kicked off of Facebook like every other week. Like it's a joke of the town now. Like it's just on Facebook. Like people will tag me and be like, "Wait, are you blocked right now?" Or I'm like, "No."
Like, do comedians get blocked often? If you're not getting like blocked or reported, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, that's what I would be saying, man. Man, I get reported so much. I also put my posts on public. The only thing that does suck about that, though, is when you're doing an event, when you're a promoter, I have to usually calm down like 2 weeks before a show because I've had it where I've gotten reported. And so then I'm kicked off of Facebook, which is actually my main source of social media and like getting people at my shows. So then I'm just kicked off for the week of my show and can't promote it at all. It happened one time and it was just so trash. And so now I'm just like, all right, let me act good for like a week before my show. Because they usually kick you off for 7 days if you didn't know that. I'm a regular blocked off Facebook person, but it's a 7-day ban. So yeah, I act decent for a week before.
Dang, I feel it for you. Well, I'm afraid that you don't get reported no more because once this COVID is over, you got to get back out there to the stage.
Right? I was like, I ain't got time for all that.
No, I ain't got time for that.
For real.
But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know what my information is. You can find me on Instagram, cbliss_pics. I also have a website. It's called blisstalkshow.life. You can find more interviews like this one on that website. I like to build, learn, inspire, collaborate, and share keys with people. I like to have very inspiring conversations where I can build by learning from other people's experiences. So if you're into that type of stuff, go check out my site. This has been such a dope conversation. Shrista, did I say it right?
You did. Hey. Holla. Dimple gang. Dimple gang.
You're right. Dimple gang.
Hey.
Well, let's keep in touch too. Inbox me when you got your next show or something like that. I can come down to open mic or something like that. Let me know.
Let's get it. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.